Hello friends, this is Ashwini. In my previous video, I had taught you a few greetings in Japanese and had also mentioned you about the textbook that I will be following to teach Japanese. In this video, I'm going to teach you the grammar points from the lesson 1 of the same textbook, and this is part 1 of that lesson. In this video, I will be teaching you how to use the textbook. You will be able to tell your country, language, and nationality, tell about the occupations, and few basic sentences like N1 wa N2 this and N1 wa N2 ja arimase. Let's see how to use the textbooks and what's given in the textbook. Every chapter in the textbook has bunkei. I have mentioned the kanji. The textbooks are using kanjis and the hiragana is written over them. Bunkei means sentence pattern. In this section, the sentence patterns taught in that particular lesson will be given. Reibun, which means example sentences. In this section, few more different variations of the same sentence pattern will be given for better understanding. Kaiwa means conversation. There will be a small conversation using the sentence patterns taught in that lesson. Renshu A, which means practice A. You will have few more example sentences for every sentence pattern taught in that lesson. Renshu B, practice B, wherein you have to make sentences using the clues given in the questions. Also, an example will be provided for each question. You should just follow the example and make the sentences. Renshu C, practice C. This section is to understand the conversation and start making conversations. You will have to read the conversation and looking at the picture, you have to make your own conversations. Mondai. Every chapter will have mondai in the end, which means questions. Questions relating to the grammar taught in that lesson will be given, asked there. You will have to write the answers. Also, the textbook comes with a CD to help you understand the pronunciation. You can use the CD for better pronunciation. Now here I have used these characters to make sentences. So she is Mrs. Maria from America, Mr. Leo from England, Miss Reena from India, and Mr. Tanaka from Japan. I am using these characters to make sentences. Now let's see how to make the country, language, and nationality. For a given country, take the country name and add go to it. You will get the language of that particular country. To get the nationality, take the country name and add jin to it. You will get the nationality. It's so easy. Let's see with the examples. Now here, first let's learn how to write the country name. These are the countries for which the country name is totally written different in Japanese. So I have taken them as examples. Japan, Nihon, Nihon, China, Chugoku, Chugoku, Korea, Kankoku, Kankoku, India, Indo, Indo, America, America, UK, Igirisu, Igirisu. Now let's make the languages of that particular country. So as I told you, you have to add go to the country name. So Japanese language will be Nihongo, Nihongo. The Chinese language will be Chugokugo, Chugokugo. The Korean language will be Kankokugo, Kankokugo. For India, we have various languages. I have here taken the example of Hindi. So it will be Hindigo, Hindigo. Whatever is your language, just add go to it to say that language. America, ego, ego means English. It's a little different. UK, also English. So you write ego. Okay. Now let's see how to make the nationality. To the same country name, add jin in the suffix. So you get Nihonjin. Nihon with jin, it's Nihonjin, which means a Japanese. Chugokujin, Chugokujin, Chinese. Kankokujin, Kankokujin, Korean. Indojin, Indojin, Indian. Americajin, Americajin, American. Igirisujin, Igirisujin, and English. Understood? Now let's see how to tell the occupations. Employee. When you have to just say employee, say sha'in, sha'in. In is the suffix added to tell it's employee or worker. Company employee. The word for company is kaisha and for employee it's in. You add the suffix in, you get a company worker or a company employee. Kaisha in. A bank employee. Ginko in. Ginko in. Ginko means bank. Ginko in. A post office employee. Yubin kyoku in. Yubin kyoku in. Yubin kyoku is post office and a worker or an employee of that post office is called Yubin kyoku in. Few other occupations are engineer, 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 doctor, isha, isha. A teacher as a profession is kyoshi, kyoshi. Now let's learn to make some simple sentences. The first pattern we are going to learn is N1 wa, N2 this. In this sentence pattern, N1 wa, N2 this, the N denotes nouns. N1 and N2 are two different nouns. The letter here is ha, but when used as a particle to connect two nouns, you read it as va and not ha. So you should read this sentence as N1 va, N2 this. Okay? This wa is a particle which is a subject marker. That is, it marks the subject of the sentence. So, in this sentence, N1 wa N2 this, N1 will be the subject of the sentence. You are talking about N1. This is just added in the end of the sentence to sound polite. The full stop in Japanese is written in this way, a small circle. This sentence will mean N1 is N2. Now let's see a few examples in the same sentence pattern. Watashi wa ashwini desu. Watashi wa ashwini desu. Watashi means I. So this sentence translates to I am Ashwini. Let's go to the next example. Watashi wa Indojin desu. Watashi wa Indojin desu. So this sentence means I am Indian. The third example here is Watashi wa engineer desu. Watashi wa engineer desu, which means I am an engineer. If you notice in all these three examples, watashi, that is I, is the subject of the sentence. So I am here talking about myself. Now you also can try making sentences in the same way. She is Mrs. Maria. Now let's make few sentences about her using the same sentence pattern. Maria-san wa America-jin desu. Maria-san wa America-jin desu. Maria-san. The san here means Mr. or Mrs. Maria-san wa America-jin desu. Mrs. Maria is American. Maria-san wa kaisha-in desu. Maria-san wa kaisha-in desu. Mrs. Maria is a company employee. So we add this san to others' name, but don't add san to yourself. Now this person is Tanaka from Japan and he is a bank employee. Now let's make few sentences about Mr. Tanaka. Tanaka-san wa Nihonjin desu. Tanaka-san wa Nihonjin desu. Mr. Tanaka is Japanese. Tanaka-san wa ginko-in desu. Tanaka-san wa ginko-in desu. So Tanaka, Mr. Tanaka is a bank employee. So the subject in these two sentences is Mr. Tanaka. We are talking about Mr. Tanaka. So remember, wa is a subject marker. Let's go to the next example sentence pattern. N1 wa N2 ja arimasen. Ja arimasen means not. So this sentence means N1 is not N2. The subject N1 is not N2. Let's understand it with examples. Watashi wa Yamada ja arimasen. Watashi wa Yamada ja arimasen. It means I am not Yamada. Maria-san wa Nihonjin ja arimasen. Maria-san wa Nihonjin ja arimasen, which means Mrs. Maria is not a Japanese. Tanaka-san wa Isha ja arimasen. Tanaka-san wa Isha ja arimasen, which means Mr. Tanaka is not a doctor. Mr. Tanaka is not a doctor. Friends, you have learned 2 sentence patterns in this video. Keep practicing them and try to make your own sentences using the same sentence pattern. Keep learning, keep watching my video. Thank you.